A new record for air travel during the COVID pandemic. 1 million passengers flying every day for a week straight, and that is raising concern about safety. Even with 41 million Americans fully inoculated against the virus, the CDC has been warning against air travel, fearing it could contribute to a spring surge. Joining us once again, Sara Nelson, president of the Association of Flight Attendants. Sara, welcome back. It's always good to see you. So, good news. It seems people are less fearful of flying. Bad news, there are still some serious concerns about safety. What are airline employees telling you? Are they at all concerned for their safety?
Yes, Alex, they are concerned for their safety because we are seeing packed airplanes now. We don't have all of the airplanes back up in the air, so a lot of times these flights are full, and we have not been able to get access to the vaccines at the same rate that we would like to, and in a priority order, because we are so often coming in contact with the public and traveling. We're also concerned about the rise of cases where we have to enforce mask policies, and people are refusing to wear those mask policies. The TSA just extended their zero tolerance policy around that. They are fining people big dollars, and people are facing jail time for refusing to do this, but it is very hard on the front lines. Now, I think this is going to change as we get more vaccines out there, and we're very close to getting there. But we really need to be very responsible and listening to the CDC and being very careful during this time so that we can make sure that we can lift all restrictions and get back to normal without the virus mutating.
Yeah, well, I have to say, I'm really encouraged every time I read a story in the news about an airline that has gone back and made some, insert colorful word here, passenger who refuses to wear a mask get off the plane. I mean, that's important to do right now. It makes everybody feel better. But here's what's not good. Airlines, as you know, worldwide had to cut $1 billion of expenses a day last year just to cope with the slump in passengers. And there are reports, Sara, that airlines are canceling furloughs as a result of the COVID relief bill. Is that having an impact? I mean, can you confirm that? And is that impacting your workers?
Yes, this was our plan. We worked very hard on it. You have reported on it throughout the year. This is the payroll support program, and it was the workers' first program that we got into the CARES Act, even with Trump and McConnell in charge, very much against it. But we fought very hard with the airlines and our unions to have this payroll support program, and it requires no furloughs. All of the money has to go to pay and benefits. There can be no reduction in hourly pay rates, and it caps executive compensation and bans stock buybacks. So it was the best return for the public's money because we continued to pay our taxes and support state and local budgets. We continued to pay our rent and our cable bills that support other jobs. And we stayed connected to our health care during the pandemic. And that has continued, and we have that in place through September of 2021. So we need to use this financial stability to make sure that we're making the best public health decisions and taking the best actions so that we can we can end this pandemic and get back to life as we love it.
So with the 41 million people inoculated here in the states that I mentioned, that is about 12% of the population, there is a push for proof that you've gotten the shots. And that brings us to the question of COVID passports. How successful, Sara, do you think they could be?
Well, listen, the WHO actually reiterated just on Thursday again that they argue against making this mandatory for equity and other concerns. And we have those same concerns, too. We see biometric security that has been very successful, where people take that voluntary action to give their biometrics to be able to speed up their time in a security line. And you could have the same program where people can have access to quicker access to travel if they have some sort of passport. But it should not be mandatory because there are too many concerns around this. We actually are ready to meet with the Biden administration, all the stakeholders in aviation, to set up best practices on this issue.
What's your best guess as to when air travel will return to normal?
So we have to, if we stick with the president's plan, and we're all very diligent about keeping those masks up and getting the vaccine in place, we have the ability to return to some type of normal activity by this fall. And we need businesses to lift those restrictions on business travel. That is the biggest issue right here in the States. For travel around the world, I should reiterate, our big network carriers, half of their business is international travel. So we also have to remember that we are a part of a whole world that has been suffering under this pandemic, and we've got to support every effort to get the vaccine to every country in the world. So we're working with the Biden administration on encouraging that as well.
Okay, very good. Sara Nelson, always good to see you. Thank you so much, Sara.